Well, good Monday morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
We got a jam-packed show filled with guests. We'll recap. Well, there was a busy wrestling weekend, not just WWE, but we'll get into some of that. We'll get into some entertainment with our guy, Rick Bentley, who will join us at 7:30. It is Make You Laugh Monday, and it is Trevor's week. I believe he will be coming in with Tyler O'Brien, as well as we'll preview the NBA Finals. Now that it is all set, we'll have our guy Snacks join us at 8:30. Plus, you can call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. It wasn't long enough for us, but It is what it is. We had a long weekend the weekend before, so we'll just make up for it. But
we had some major announcements over the weekend as well.
Yes, we did. And if you missed our stream for the live reactions of Clash in Italy, don't know what you were doing. You might as well have just been with us. Come on now. And you missed out on two of our special guests that we announced for the next week here on the Early Bird Special. If you did miss it, we'll let you know who that was at the end of the show, especially if you're not following us on social media, which you should be, because if you are, you already know who those two guests are. So more reason for you to be following us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, all that type of stuff. We're all over the place. Just look up the Early Bird Special or the Early Bird Special Official. You'll see our little logo right there as the profile picture. Just like, share, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. But as Sparky said, we had a very, very, very busy weekend in the world of sports, not just the world of wrestling. We had one of the greatest wrestling matches of easily of the year. I mean, we talked about it at length yesterday during the stream, but we'll get into the mask versus mask, El Grande versus El Grande, or I'm sorry, the original El Grande Americano. Let me specify that. The original El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano over the weekend, which, God, man.
It was a hell of a match. Hell of a way to start AAA for myself.
Easily. And what did I tell you, Sparky? You've been missing out, haven't you?
Haven't
you? And I'm just telling you, man, that you too, if you were like Sparky sitting there saying, man, I ain't going to watch more of this stuff. What are you talking about?
You throw in The Undertaker, I'll watch anything.
Look, The Undertaker is the head of creative for AAA. Rey Mysterio, legendary luchador, now their general manager. And I would assume very, very heavy in the storyline creation of a lot of these wrestlers. And it's old school luchadors, man. Like, it really is. It's not your traditional WWE stuff. All of this is very much born and bred in Mexico. Their shows are all in Mexico. Like, it is lucha libre. This is not just traditional wrestling. But we'll get into that at some point because that was fun to watch. Plus, Clash in Italy. We'll get to that as well before we get to our guests of the day. But the world of basketball, at least some of the fans that I've met and known, ecstatic with the outcome of the Western Conference Finals as the Spurs pulled off the win in Game 7, 111-103, regardless of SGA's 30-9. And we said this yesterday during the stream. I'm going to just reiterate it right now, and we'll get our thoughts out of the way and get to some audio here that Sparky's been able to pull. But I said it on Friday. If the Thunder were going to be successful, it was going to come down to a few key factors. One, Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren had to have a good game. And honestly, after this series, I'm starting to look at Chet Holmgren as maybe the 4th or 5th best player on this Thunder team. I know most of you are saying, what's wrong with you? Think of it this way. SGA, without a doubt, the 1st best player. 2nd best player, Jalen Williams. I don't think that's really arguable. Then you could have put Chet at 3. He's consistently the 3rd best player on the team, I would say. And as a 7'2" big man, you would assume he'd be able to at least score 12 points. But anytime he is faced with a man that is equal in size or equal in skill, this kid absolutely disappears, as you saw in Game 7. Mm-hmm. What do you go, Sparky? 1 for 2?
1 for 2.
1 for 2. And we're going to sit here and call this guy the 3rd best player on the team? Nah. Alex Caruso and McCain are better than this guy at this point. So, in my opinion, a lot of the blame, at least for Game 7, has to go on Chet. Because you didn't lock down Victor Wembanyama. You hadn't locked him down all series. And when you really look at the comparisons between the two of you, it's getting pretty embarrassing at this point.
He owns him.
He absolutely does. And I honestly looked up some stats just to get a side-by-side of these two. Their record against each other is actually pretty good. It's 4-4 in the regular season, 3-4 now in the playoffs, as that was the first time the two teams have seen each other in the playoffs. But when you really look at their stats, overall wise, and it's actually scary how many games these two have had pretty similar here. 183 to 181 to Victor. Victor leads in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. He leads in almost every statistical category except for field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. And I argue the only reason Chet has Victor beat in those areas is because he doesn't shoot as much.
I was gonna say probably less shots.
So realistically, when you look at it, Chet can't measure up. He just can't. So we'll get to that in a second because I think that will tie into the changes that need to make.
Aside from SGA, there wasn't really anybody that stepped up.
And when you have a Spurs team where the entire starting five is damn near scoring 20 points, plus two guys off the bench in double digits, their defense was there. I mean, I'm excited just to see what this Spurs team can do in the NBA Finals against a Knicks team, especially a Knicks team that's been sitting there waiting for 8 days. But if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I think you're mostly disappointed in the fact that Chet Holmgren didn't show up for this game at all. And two, again, we highlighted it when it came to their Game 5 win. The aggressiveness just deteriorated. It wasn't there. SGA got a handful of calls. I think he got 11 free throws throughout this game, which is a solid number. But everybody else just kind of seems like they're just getting out of the way. And in a Game 7, as I highlighted on Friday, you can't have that. You're going to have the stars step up. They're always going to step up in a Game 7. What you need is a second-tier guy or even a role player guy to have a ridiculous game to be able to push you over the top. The Spurs have been getting that from Champagnie. They've been getting that from Castle. They've been getting it.
Fox stood up when he needed to.
They've been getting it from Dylan Harper off the bench.
I love that guy, man.
Oh, my God. And watching him and Ron Harper Sr., who is his father, by the way, that's so cool to see. It really is. Just seeing the relationship, not only between Ron and Dylan, but Ron and his other son, Ron Jr., who plays for the Celtics. I love seeing this kind of thing in basketball. But the point being, the Spurs got that. The Spurs got the second-tier guys stepping up for Wemby and making plays because Wemby was in foul trouble for the majority of the second half of this game. Now, they let him play, but he did get to 5 fouls. What?
It was like 8 minutes left.
Right.
And I didn't understand why they didn't go after him.
That's the point I'm just about to make.
What are you doing?
You have their star player in foul trouble. Their number one defender, too, in Stephon Castle, and 4 fouls at the time. Why are we not being aggressive? Your whole MO, the whole thing that you guys are known for in Oklahoma is getting fouls and drawing fouls. This game was set up for you to get that. And I said it as well on Friday. I wanted to see the referees call everything. And I know we had a texter say, well, that's just going to lead to hack a Victor. Sure, fine, whatever. It's not going to work out like Hack a Shaq or Hack a Dwight did anyway.
Because he makes free throws.
Exactly. But at that point, we need to see the refs at least go back and forth with it. And they did. They did so much that they even called it on Victor multiple times where I was scratching my head saying, wow, really?
Yeah, there was a couple that was,
okay.
Really?
But again. Okay.
But it went back and forth.
Right. If that's what we're going to get, then I'm okay with that. But why the Oklahoma City Thunder, SGA, and their head coach didn't stress attack. I don't care if he blocks you. Get to that rim. He's going to foul you eventually.
Even when they tried to go after, they would run away from him.
Right.
I'm like, dude, you're doing the opposite of what is set up for you. If they were going to win this game, they had to. Right. They had to go after him. He had 5 fouls. You know, that game would be a totally different game those last 5-6 minutes without Wemby.
Exactly. And here's the thing. If you want a good example of this, the last, I think it was about 2-3 minutes of the game, they were down by 6, the Oklahoma City Thunder, that being. They get a steal off the inbounds that was going straight to Victor. There's a 3-on-2 situation where SGA has the ball. SGA drives to the hoop. And instead of putting up a layup when Victor's nowhere near you, he decides he's going to dribble around and then pass out for a 3-pointer that was absolutely bricked. And again, I know This is the new NBA. I know we talk about it at nauseum, how dumb it seems for players just to pass on an easy 2 points for a 3-pointer. And yes, there are analytics guys, unfortunately, that are telling these players, that's a good play. That is exactly what you should be
High
going
percentage,
for.
high percentage.
Kenny Atkinson's probably praising the Thunder right now, saying they're headed to the finals.
Yes.
But here's the thing. You're down 6 with a minute to go. Hit the damn layup. What are we doing? You just stole the inbounds pass, proving you guys can do that. If you hit a basket there, it puts even more pressure on the Spurs, and they'll probably mess up again.
Yeah, and you change that momentum. Say you even make it. You get lucky. You get the and one. Then you get the 3. Wemby's out of the game, and you're only down by 3 points.
And that's what I'm sitting there saying is I'm not even rooting for the Thunder at this point.
Yeah, me neither.
But I saw SJ do that, and I said, "What are you doing?"
I was telling my wife, look at him. He's playing scared.
That's the point I'm making, dude. Like, the aggression that was so successful for the Thunder just got sucked out of the stadium. And I don't know if the head coach just said, we're going to go back to what we did in game 1. Why? Don't get it. But whatever adjustments were made for this game 7 were wrong. It led to them losing. And honestly, if this team would have just been aggressive the entire time, they probably would have wrapped this up in 6. But now they get to deal with losing to the Spurs and now having this giant question mark over their head for the foreseeable future of if they can even get past the Spurs anymore. Is this going to be a roadblock for the future? Well, this is SGA and his thoughts on that after the game.
They're young, they're talented, well coached, play the right way, play together. Seems like they like each other. They have the makeup for sure. You don't beat us without the makeup, and they beat us, so they have the makeup to go get one. And yeah, we just have to take it one day at a time from here on out. Try to get better this summer, be a better team than we were this season than last season. Yeah, try to get back over the hump.
I appreciate SGA's candidness when it comes to at least owning up to what his team needs to do and what they're doing wrong. Because even during games they won, he's still criticizing the team, saying, we didn't play our best ball. This isn't what we're like our level is. And I think he knows that finishing up this series in 7, that they should have wrapped this up probably in 6 or potentially just not even gotten this far with this series in general. But with the way the Thunder have been playing, with the way that this series went, now everybody's going to be wondering, have the Spurs kind of figured out the formula to take down dynasties like this, especially deep teams, because that's what this team is. The Thunder is just the most deep team in the NBA. But now they're going to be coming up on the problem of, can you pay everybody? So,
see, I excuse me. It has been a long weekend, but one of those main topics was, what does OKC do now moving forward? And, with Chet, obviously a big question mark on him, but guys like Jalen Williams, the better one,
yes,
is one of those guys that, sadly missed out of game 7. But this is 2 times in the last week that I've heard Shams talk about Evan Mobley and a straight up trade for Evan Mobley for Jalen Williams. And I'm like, yesterday you were talking about Mobley to Milwaukee for Giannis and all their draft picks. It seems like your boy is going to be a hot commodity this offseason.
It wouldn't surprise me because, again, Cleveland's looking for anything that they can do to get to the finals, and being this close and being, embarrassed by the Knicks like they were, there's going to be some sort of roster changes for Cleveland. I don't know if it's to the Thunder, though. Like, don't get me wrong, Jalen Williams for Evan Mobley would be a great one-on-one trade. But if I'm the Thunder, I'm not looking to offload Jalen. I'm looking to offload Chet.
Exactly.
I'm looking to get the 7-footer out of here.
Supposedly SGA loves this guy.
I get it. I understand. Again, they came up together. Well, they didn't really come up together. Chet was there before, and SGA just kind of showed up and took the reins. But SGA has been there throughout Chet's career. Obviously, when you look at a guy of his size and stature and skill ability, you would assume that this kid's going to figure it out eventually. But it's the same thing I've been saying about Evan Mobley for years. You would assume that this guy figures out some sort of offensive game that makes him a unicorn and makes him this just unbeatable monster, just like Victor. I don't know if they have that ability. And it's not necessarily athletic ability. I think it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I think
you think it'd be easier for him to be in OKC surrounded by all those guys?
Evan?
Yeah.
No. Because again, if Evan
sure the hell is not going to do it in Milwaukee.
But see, here's the thing. he might do it in Milwaukee because Evan Mobley's problem, at least to me as a Cleveland fan, has been what Snacks has highlighted on this show a couple times. He's trying to find his role
Yeah.
on the team. And
So if he's the only guy, it'll make it better for him.
Kinda. If you think
I
of
can
it
see
that
it.
way, if you are the focal star of a team, it is different. You get the ball way more often,
Not
more
as much
opportunities
pressure.
to score. Yeah, and especially if you're on a bad team, not as much pressure, 100%. But if you throw Evan on a team that has this much talent, granted, he will have more success in a team area, but that's never been Evan's problem with Cleveland. They can win games in the regular season with Cleveland. His problem is the playoffs and winning after that and really finding himself within a team of all stars.
Yeah, being that focal point.
And if you throw him out there with an SGA and a Jalen Williams or a Chet Holmgren at that, if you really want to go that route, true, he goes back to being the second best player on the team. That's absolutely valid, but he's still taking a backseat to SGA. And I think Cleveland's problem right now isn't necessarily that they have too many stars, is that they're not allowing guys like Evan Mobley to be that second best player.
To grow.
Having James Harden on the team severely stunted Evan's ability to get the ball and ability to make stuff happen himself.
Yeah, it took that whole team back.
And I don't think a move to Oklahoma City will be any better. A move to Milwaukee would, because it would get the ball in his hands.
Well, we know OKC's got a high draft pick. They've got a lot of young guys. What do you think OKC needs to do to take that? I mean, was it just injuries and bad timing?
I know, because again, when you look at this team, they're just so deep.
Next man up type guys, yeah.
Absolutely. And they've done it all playoffs. What it really was, they just ran into the one team that has played them well all season long, and that's San Antonio. And really, San Antonio can be talked about in the same light as being a pretty deep team like that. I mean, Harrison Barnes is coming off the bench, for God's sake.
We rarely even see him.
I know. And again, it's just one of those situations where I think if they're going to do anything, one, you need to either address the Chet Holmgren situation and figure out what's going on with him, because you cannot be having games where he's only shooting 2 baskets in 33 minutes. And by the way, for those of you who are probably thinking, well, maybe he contributed in other ways on defense or rebounds. The guy had 4 rebounds and, yes, granted 2 steals and 2 blocks, but that's still not enough for a guy who's 7'2" and is supposed to be the third or second best player on your team.
Not in 30 minutes of play.
No. So
in a big game.
This is why I highlight, though, that it may be Chet Holmgren that you need to either move on from or figure something out. I don't know if there's a guy in this draft that's a 7'3" star that you could really fill in that area. But if there is anybody that's in that general vicinity that you can get at the, 11 or 12 in the draft this year, something like that, if you can find a guy to fill that hole, I suggest moving on from Chet Holmgren
or
getting
use
something for you.
Or use the pick for a replacement like that. There's plenty of guys out in free agency this year. And I think being this is probably the last year where you can actually move these draft picks with a backing. You know, they know where the draft picks are. I don't know if I don't see OKC moving on from Chet, but I see the problem.
Again, I agree. And I think maybe it's just me pulling the trigger on this a little too quickly.
Well, I know you're not a fan of Chet. We all know that.
Again, the
and
guy,
for a reason.
It bugs me, man. You're 7'2". You have the ability. You shoot 3-pointers. When you came in, everybody was talking about you like a shoo-in for not only the rookie of the year, but the next big man star. And we give so much grief to guys like Rudy Gobert for disappearing in big games or not being a factor on offense. Yet I don't hear Shaq say a dang thing about guys like Chet Holmgren.
No. And at the end of the day, big players on the biggest podium, they show up.
Right.
And the biggest games, they show up.
And Chet has just shown that all he does is shrivel up. And he's just not that guy. He's not. Again, when you look at him, he looks like the guy from the Monstars. You're really intimidated by this. This is incredibly rough, and he's a foot taller than your big man, so it's going to be a rough day for you. But is he only that good because he's a foot taller than everybody on the court? Probably.
Sure the hell didn't show their grit. So, no. I mean, I'm not a big fan of him, but I will say the major change was Fox stepping up,
Yes.
because he was a major input in this game. He was on fire, and it was good to see, this young team come together like this. And I think this is one of the most recent NBA finals I'm actually excited for.
Oh, I am too. And I agree. I think with the De'Aaron Fox kind of catching some fire here, it's going to be an even better series because he is the fastest man on a basketball court with a basketball in his hands. And Jalen Brunson, as much as we love the guy, defensive liability.
Oh yeah.
So if they can utilize the speed of De'Aaron Fox and make it really tough for Jalen to just keep up with him, this could be a really fun series just to watch go back and forth. And I agree. I think this is going to be the most competitive finals we were going to get. I was afraid if the Thunder made it to the finals, it was going to be a little more skewed towards them. But with the Spurs coming in so young, especially with the young Victor Wembanyama going against a team of destiny that is the New York Knicks right now, this is going to be arguably the most watched. Actually, I can't even say it's arguable. It probably will be the most watched NBA finals in the last 5-10 years. But I also have to highlight, because I've heard Nick Costas say it a couple times and it bugs me. Can we put down the stupid cliche of this is the most anticipated? No, it's not. Nobody anticipated that we were going to get the Knicks in the finals. That was a shock. Let's be honest. Nobody anticipated we were going to get the Spurs in the finals. We were hopeful, but no one anticipated that we were going to get a Spurs and Knicks final until we got to the Eastern and Western Conference finals when both of these teams were alive. So can we please stop calling this the most anticipated finals since the Cavs and Warriors? And the only reason that was an anticipated finals is because we all knew it was going to end up being the finals. Those two teams were far too good, and we knew how it was going to end. So can we just put down the most anticipated thing and let's accept it for what it is? The most surprising and obviously exciting NBA finals we've gotten in about 5 to 10 years. Because both of these teams hold up in terms of market, both of these teams hold up in terms of talent, and both of these teams hold up in terms of the fans want to see them win. So I just think we need to change the verbiage a little bit on this.
I want to see the reaction from Snacks when we talked to him at 8:30.
I can't wait.
Because I know when we talked to him last week, he was kind of on the fence. He's like, after that OKC, San Antonio, when they were up 3-2, he was like, I don't know, man. I think OKC could pull it. Well, now that he's got his Spurs in there, I want to see how much chances he gives to the Knicks.
Him and Bolt Brady. I can't wait to talk to Bolt on Thursday after game one, unfortunately, but I'd love to get his thoughts on who he thinks is going to be the finals MVP of all of this, plus just how this series is going to go after we get a game under us. Let's hear one more time, though, from Victor Wembanyama. This is what he said about just getting to the finals this early in his career and his visions for himself.
Vic, along those lines, after the gold medal game in Paris, you had said you worried for your opponents in a couple of years. A couple of years later, is this kind of what you had in mind when you said that?
Kind of, but I don't worry really for them. I'm not worried. I'm worried about winning. That's what I'm thinking about.
The kid's got the right mindset.
Dude, and seeing his reaction after they made it, it was just priceless.
Oh, dude, it's pure emotion. And again, that's why I keep saying this guy is just so likable, especially if you're just a basketball fan in general. They just need to hand over the torch to this kid already. They really do. But I'm hopeful he's going to have an incredible series. I can't wait to see the matchup, not only between him and Cat, but him and Mitchell Robinson. Because again, if you've watched the Knicks, Mitch is the one that's really going to be playing the majority of the defense on Vic, no matter what Josh Hart says. But I am just excited to see what this series has for us. I think both of these teams are very talented. Both of these teams have fought their way here and deserve to be here. And what do you think, Sparky? They give us 6 games. I think this would be a successful series.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a sweep, we're good.
I'm leaning on New York in 6, but we've talked to my boy Chris Flail. He's saying the opposite. He says Spurs in 6. I'd be happy with 6 games.
I'm just looking for great series here, great basketball, I should say. I agree more with Chris Flail, though. I think the Spurs win, but that's just me having a little bit more of a soft spot for Victor than I do for the Knicks. Plus, I kind of agree with Chris to a point. New York fandoms can be really insufferable, especially after they win a championship. So I don't know if I want to hear New York fans talking about how the Knicks are back on top of the league. Look, I know we've heard it far too long from Boston fans and Laker fans and all of this, and rightfully so. They have been incredibly successful. But I don't think we're ready for New
Yeah,
York
I can't
fans.
take it serious when it's coming from Flail, the Eagles fan.
True. And again, that's also why I'm saying in my head, like, maybe there is a little bit of just, salt there from rivalry teams. But I said it on Friday. If there was anybody that was going to win outside of my Cavaliers in the East, I do wish it was the Knicks, though, because the Knicks obviously have taken this, or have been away from the finals for this long. They haven't had the success. And just like I said last week, just last year, everybody was talking about if they can't figure it out in the next 2 to 3 years, it was going to be one of those situations where they were going to have riots in the streets of New York because it was just getting to the point of embarrassment.
Well, I
So,
think that defense that New York can bring is has the chance to get into Wemby's head. He's still young, and you could see the frustration in him during this season with OKC. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to have to play that rough defense that OKC tried to show here and there, but they got to be physical. And I think that is one of the few teams that can match up and be physical with teams.
see, and that's what I'm wondering about with this finals as well, is how physical the Knicks are going to get, because obviously the successful formula against the Spurs is the aggressive nature, is the physicality and getting to them. But they have to pick up the pace at the same time, because if you slow down the pace and allow the Spurs to play through Victor, you're playing into their hand, regardless if you're being aggressive or not. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what both teams come out with in terms of game plan in game one. Game one will be Wednesday, so we'll be without basketball for the next couple days, but we'll fill that with plenty more stories to get to. I mean, we got an update from this Brendan Sorsby situation. I know we've got some news from the Orlando Magic finding their new head coach.
AJ Brown Day now.
It's AJ Brown Day. That's right. So we'll hopefully figure out some sort of answer on if the Philadelphia Eagles plan to find a new home for their number one receiver. God only knows. So let's take a break, my friend. I know Rick Bentley's probably waiting at the door for us right now. Talk a little entertainment. He's excited to talk Spider Noir for you Spider-Man fans out there. That dropped on Amazon over the weekend. Have not gotten a chance to watch it, unfortunately. But the cool thing about this, if you guys are Disney fans, you may remember the Werewolf by Night thing they dropped a couple years ago, where it was both black and white and color. It's kind of the same thing here. Now, it's a noir, so my personal opinion, you have to watch it in black and white. But if you like or prefer your stuff in color, they have that option for you as well. But we'll talk about that with our guy Rick Bentley, plus a ton more. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Uh, as we learned last week, they can't sue us.
We cut it off just in time.
Exactly. There's not enough time for it. Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. You can also watch us video-wise on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch every single morning. And it's time to talk entertainment with our friend Rick Bentley. Good morning, sir.
Good
to see
morning.
You. Happy Monday.
It's a happy Monday.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with Spider Noir, or do we want to get into some of the box office stuff?
I do want to do the box office first.
Okay.
This is so intriguing to me. I
Tell me Obsession is still up there.
Here's the deal. The big film this weekend was Backrooms.
Right.
Okay. It ended up making $81 million on a film that probably cost $9 to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's a they're going to give this guy, this 20-year-old whiz kid, billions of dollars.
Which, talk about that, because I was reading up on this kid. I had no idea this was his first film.
Yeah, because this was based on a web series.
Right.
He'd done a web series, and he had net directed.
Oh, okay, so it was a series. I was under the impression it was a video game.
I was under the impression it was a web series.
Huh. Oh, okay, it's something on the internet, though.
Yeah.
Some sort of internet craze.
Yeah. Well, maybe one of those weird things, sort of a hybrid.
Maybe.
Because my understanding of it, and I haven't seen it, is that you go in and you keep going through the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why you think it's a game, but but there's never really like anything to fight or
right.
any.
I just heard you're kind of being chased by something, but not being chased by something. It's more of a psychological thing.
And that's kind of the way the movie goes, but they do finally give you a real creature to be in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the interesting story.
Uh-huh.
The interesting story is, last week I pointed out how Obsession had done the remarkable thing of going in their second week, going up 69% at the box office,
Right?
Which is, to me, stunning in itself.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't remember. It's rare when a film goes up, but they go up that high. So now, talking outside, I don't want to talk about movies that open at Christmas or that sort of thing, because the openings on those are so weird because kids getting out of school, the numbers go up and down. So we're going to talk about just in general. In its third week, Obsession went up again. It went up 10% more. Now, that's 2 weeks in a row with going up at the box office. What do you think was the last film to do that?
Shoot, I couldn't tell you. Avatar, maybe? I'm not sure.
Keep going back.
Further? Let's go Titanic then. Let's go far back.
Keep going back.
Really? You're going back too far for me, Mr. Bentley. I'm not sure on this one.
E.T.
No kidding.
Was the last film to open, go up the second week, and go up the third week.
Wow.
So 83.
That's incredible. Okay, so obviously this is an outlier, not just for movies in general, but just specifically for horror films. Do you have any idea if it's just more than word of mouth, or
nope,
this?
It's all word of mouth.
That's incredible.
Just this. Again, the film has gotten great reviews.
Right.
Okay. Every person I talk to, whether it be young or old, who has seen it, say this is the best horror film I've ever seen.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, there we go.
I enjoyed it, but it was also one of those things where I don't know if you've been around the entertainment side of it for a long time, but is it because a lot of these big, I mean, if you're not a big Star Wars guy, there wasn't really a lot to choose from the last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, timing is always important.
Of course.
Yeah. Even to the case where Mandalorian opens, which should have been it's this juggernaut that's going to just wipe it out completely. And this past week, Mandalorian in the second week, it dropped almost 70%.
Doesn't surprise me. I've not heard very kind things about this movie.
Well, and I think what happens is that first week, everybody who was a fan of the TV series
went and saw it.
Had to go see it that first week. They saw it. They went, well, it's okay. I've seen it.
Right.
There's no reason for them to go back.
Do you think? I was thinking about this over the weekend. When it comes to Star Wars, I know that there's so many of these different series and stuff like that sometimes it kind of just seems like we're watering it down too much.
Oh, it's burnout.
Do you think that people are just looking at all these side stories and just saying, meh, I really don't care to see that because it doesn't impact the story of Star Wars at all?
Yeah. I think it's a burnout. We saw that for a while with superhero movies.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up the Marvel movies.
Yeah, they kept pounding us and finally people went, I've done
And
that.
you would assume Disney would have learned that lesson, though, being the one that owns both of these IPs.
It doesn't matter. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's and we're talking about looking here. The Mandalorian's taking in 137 million.
Mhm.
It's probably going to get up around 350 million worldwide. That's not a major success for them,
No.
but it didn't cost as much as like Solo did.
Right.
So they're going to end up making money. And even if they break even if that's the worst case scenario,
Mhm.
they're going to put it on Disney Plus forever.
Yeah.
And so they've got that material there. So it makes sense to them.
Right.
We can tear it apart, but to them it makes sense.
I know, like, realistically, it's not a success when you look at it money wise, but when it comes to Disney, do you think they even look at that anymore? I mean, this is like a money making machine. They make it over, whether it's through Disney Plus or the theme parks or anything they create. Do you think there is a world where Disney actually cares if these movies do good anymore?
Well, I think there is maybe at the very because if a movie does well, then it's going to generate even more excitement into
True.
buying the toys and doing getting all the peripherals.
Put out more
stuff.
merch. Put out more merch and stuff
True.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if it's marginal, you're only going to see a limited amount of that. And I think they're smart enough to know if a film's going to be big or just mediocre. And you can almost tell by when if you walk through, Target and look at the shelves and see, there wasn't a lot of Mandalorian toys out there.
No.
There were some.
They mostly Grogu, but yeah.
Yeah. And then we had the time with Burger King.
Yeah.
And all those toys. But it wasn't overwhelming. And so I think when they know I think they know ahead of time.
Mhm.
And so they just match it with what they're doing peripherally, trading cards or, comic books or
Right.
whatever. So
they'd make up whatever they're going to lose. Based
but
off
even
of that.
even that being said, maybe they don't make 100 billion off of their merchandise.
Mm.
They make 500 million.
Mhm.
But that's still 500 million to the
Right.
plus.
And they probably saved a ton of money making this a movie rather than a series anyway.
Yeah, I really feel like they believed that it may have been losing steam.
Yeah, probably.
And so why not wrap it up this way?
Mhm.
Yeah, we see that. I just read online that Euphoria.
I was just catching it. Well, I haven't watched the final episode, but thanks to the internet and TikTok, obviously you know what the heck happens the minute the episode comes out. So
yeah, but
But it's over.
it's
It's
over.
over.
It's done now. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think these companies are smart enough to know that back when we had the networks, we could look at the Nielsen ratings.
Mhm.
We could say, okay, that this show is number one, this is number two. When you deal with streaming, their whole matrix are so different. It's like watched it the first time it was out, 3 days out, 5 days out, 6 months later. And so we never can get a clear number. We have asked many a time, well, what kind of numbers was Game of Thrones doing?
Right.
Well, it depends on what you're saying. Blah, 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 blah. So it's you don't have the same sort of specifics that you had when we had just networks and basic cable.
Is that why Netflix doesn't release any of their viewership stuff? Well, I'm sure that's the excuse they tell everybody. They probably just don't want people seeing the numbers. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've always wondered that because it's always been, well, obviously with everybody moving over to streaming more than they have actual cable, the viewership has to be different because not everybody owns every streaming service or people are
Right.
piggybacking off somebody else. So it's like it's always got to be skewed, I would think.
Yeah, and again, it really is. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but it is. Well, what are you talking about? Are you
Right.
talking about just when it debuts that's the number? Are you going to talk about 3 days out? Because even the networks now will say like, well, NCIS got this number,
Mhm.
but for the week it did this, and so people are looking at those post, watching things later than when the first debut.
The equivalent of reruns these days, I guess. But,
Exactly.
speaking of streaming services, though, the latest major streaming show is dropped this past weekend. That
Yep.
was Spider Noir. Have you been able to watch?
I've watched 4 episodes.
And all of it is out right now, right?
Yes,
you
it
can go out and
is.
binge it.
Yeah.
Have you been watching it noir or have you been watching it colors?
I go back and forth.
Do you?
Yeah. I watched for a while in color. If I had to, I mostly watch in color
Mhm.
because this is a beautifully shot show. I mean, it's very colorful, so it's almost criminal. But then I'll switch over to watch it in the black and white, and there's that real feel of I'm watching this sort of old detective type
Right.
show. So I love the idea that you can watch it either way, or you can go back and forth, and I find that to be fun.
I like it too.
And I find the whole show to be a lot of fun, whether you're a superhero fan or not. If you just like detective stories, there's enough of that old gruff,
Mhm.
yeah, guys, we're gonna take care of them, yeah, kind of thing going on with the show. But then there's also just enough superhero stuff to remind you, oh yeah, he does have powers.
Absolutely. Well, because that is what it is, right? I mean, for people who have no idea what we're talking about, this is essentially a detective Spider-Man.
Right, set during the Depression.
Right.
Yeah,
That is, played by Nicolas Cage.
right. Yeah, and the way this story sets up, he's the Spider.
Mhm.
That's what he's done by, and he hasn't been fighting crime for 5 years because of a tragedy in his life. I'll let you watch it to figure out what happened there. He's kind of pulled back into the business,
Mhm.
and so you sort of get this sort of gruff, Sipowicz-y kind of detective. He's sort of burned out, tired, but still knows his stuff. But then he can switch over and be the hero if he needs to be.
Mhm.
The little bit of confusion if you've been watching Spider Noir through the multiverse. Because
Yes, I was just about to bring this up. Is there any connection of
well,
this to
in
that
that case,
Spider-Verse movie?
in the Spider Verse, he is Peter Parker being right, and here he's Ben Riley. And so
okay.
there is some difference, although the confusing part is that Nicolas Cage voices
Both of them.
both of them, and so it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, because again, being a nerd, I have to think about that, but it's more of Ben Riley in the Spider-Man comics is a clone of Peter Parker.
right,
So technically, it could be the same person.
yeah. But in this case, apparently he got bit by a guy who had been injected with It's a different sort of
Interesting.
background.
Okay.
Yeah, there's enough variations on the theme but it still keeps going. His webbing is organic. He doesn't have the mechanical parts of it. But I enjoyed it both as a detective story and then as the superhero stuff in there. And then we get some of the characters you go like, well, there's a character who can shoot electricity. Now, is that Electro?
Yeah.
No, he calls himself Megawatt, but is it still, close enough? We still have the Daily Bugle there, so that's that sort of drop. There's a character named Robbie Robertson. So,
okay.
But it's not the same. Obviously, it's
a little bit of switch up to it. But
yeah.
I mean, do you think that with the popularity of the Spider-Verse, are we going to get more of these shows?
Yeah, this thing has just knocked it out of the park. Critics love it. The numbers are good on it that we can tell. I really feel like there'll be more of this after this first batch.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it went for a series rather than going for the movie because I don't feel like it's big enough to be a movie. I mean, I like the Spider character, but he doesn't have that feel of that big screen Spider-Man that I want. And so he works perfectly as a series. And I hope they don't Mandalorian it and do it into a movie.
Well, and that seems to be the case with a lot of these series. Even animes now are making their final season a movie instead and throwing it into theaters.
Yeah. Well, it's more bucks. It's a quick dollar, and then you can keep showing that. And we also forget about all the, we say, okay, it comes to the theaters, they make the money, they go home. Well, then they're going to sell it to the airlines, so they can show it on the airplane. Then they're going to sell it to the DVD market. Then they're going to sell it to the foreign market.
Still make DVDs?
I enjoy it. Because
there are people out there who still, yes.
I personally like everything in the theaters. So
absolutely.
If I get a chance to watch it in the theaters, I'm going to jump on it.
Well, then you're doing a double feature this weekend, aren't you?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big Masters of the Universe guy growing up. So we're going to do that and mix it with the scary movie, which is this going to be really the start of these blockbuster summer movies?
Well, it is. I was looking at the summer, and June and July are really packed. But then I looked into August, and August seems like they just kind of peter out. That they don't feel like they had enough big blockbusters to fill up the entire summer. Now, again, I haven't gone completely into detail. Everything's coming out in August, but when you look at June and July, when you've got Supergirl coming up, and you've got the Toy Story coming up, and
Mhm.
you've got some big tentpole movies coming up. The others don't feel as big as that. So
Makes
I do
sense.
feel like the next 2 months we're really going to be spending a lot of time at the theater.
Yeah, well,
Good.
in hindsight, do you think movies like Mandalorian would have done better if they put it in August rather
No.
than releasing it now?
No, I think now was the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get ahead of the crowd, you get your numbers, and you go home.
Mm.
I do feel like you have to worry about, even if you open in August. Let's say Toy Story is just the massive blockbuster.
Mhm.
It's not going to give up a lot of theater screens. And
Mhm.
so then how does Mandalorian fit? How do they, this way, when they open, when they did, they could get as many screens as they wanted.
Right.
True.
And so,
Very
you
true.
know, you get your, and that's why if you open a lot of screens on that first weekend, even if it's a dud, you've got that big money the first weekend. So
Mhm.
I think it opened at the right time.
Okay. Sparky, I have to ask you, since you're a Masters of the Universe fan, and I will ask you this as well, Mr. Bentley, but what does this movie have to do to be a success in your opinion?
I mean, it's got to be better than the first one. I would
That's
say.
fair.
I mean,
That's definitely fair.
But when you set the bar that low,
right?
I mean,
Hell,
yeah.
my
I
bar
could
is
say the
very
same
low.
thing about the Street Fighter
My
movie,
bar is
but
very low for this one, and
Really?
I'm not going in thinking, oh, it better be
what if
good.
you get Gold Skeletor again?
I'm not. I don't have a high ceiling for this one, and I'm just happy that they're doing it. But personally, I'm more excited as the Scary Movie because I think bringing the Wayans back
Mhm.
is hopefully saving this franchise. And I know we played the clip months ago, but Marlon had mentioned if it does well in the theaters, he will move forward with White Chicks 2 and some other ones. So I'm looking forward to just getting back to the theaters.
We do need comedies back in movie theaters.
Yes.
It's been a while since we've had it go.
And I am
Yeah.
going to see Backrooms tomorrow night with my boys, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I wrote in my review that it's one of those examples of films that are both compelling and frustrating at the same time. You're
Well, that seems to be a lot of A24 movies, though.
yeah. You're drawn in. The idea is incredible, but then
Right.
there's a point where I was like, yeah, I've seen that room 48 times. I don't need a 49th. Let's move this. Let's do something.
Right.
And that's not the nature of this film. So yeah.
Well, besides the other ones that we've talked about and Spider Noir, is there any other streaming shows or series that people aren't talking about that you've been watching or have enjoyed?
I just picked up watching Your Friends and Neighbors.
Okay.
It's the John Hamm series.
Okay.
I just did an interview with Amanda Peet.
Mhm.
It's an interesting story. He's a guy accused of murder, beats the rap in second season, but he's used to fame and fortune and having everything, so he resorts to stealing. And so it's this real world story about living in that lifestyle, but how do you keep that lifestyle? It is a kind of a comedy, weird kind of. Ham's just, I like Ham. He's always just good
I
at sort of
love
thing.
John Hamm.
And so he's very good in this.
Mhm. I've been waiting for something new with him to drop too. So
Yeah, well, this is the second season has just started. You don't have to have seen the first season. You
Okay.
basically know. I've told you what it was about. He was accused of murder. He beat the rap. He's done.
right.
And so, but yeah, in the second season, it's him trying to keep up with the lifestyle. So, yeah, I thought it worked very well. And it's interesting. He's obviously not the same age he was when he was doing Mad Men, but he's still got that charm and charisma. He's got that sort of that Cary Grant sort of thing going on
Right.
for him.
We just watched the Duffer Bros
I was
new
just about to bring
series,
this
The
up,
Burrows, which is pretty good. I
still
liked
haven't had a
it.
chance. I this weekend I had to opt for something, and I went with Spider Noir.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was tied up all day Saturday with the anime convention out.
How was it
Big
turn out?
anime.
It was poor, and I
Oh.
think it's their problem because
Mhm.
we try to do publicity through the TV station, and also I would have done it through Ralph's show. But they couldn't get anybody to give us an interview ahead of time. They didn't do a lot of publicity, and so
I was gonna say I didn't even know it was happening if it wasn't for KRRJ and all the people that were actually at the event working it,
Yeah.
posting about it.
yeah. So I think it was their own fault. The people who were there were having a great time. I mean, and I love conventions here in town because I've been to the Comic-Con and I get it. It's massive and there's a lot of stars and that sort of thing. But I watched because I was moderating panels. I watched as these anime actors would come up and they would spend time with people.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. We
You
can
get
take
more of the
pictures.
one-on-one type.
Oh,
Mhm.
far more than I mean, It was just amazing how I saw Scott Shaw, who was the guy who drew the original Sonic. He was there, and he would take forever talking to people about, and they go, "Well, should I get it?" Well, let me tell you something. And
Let me tell you a story.
yeah,
I love our
I do
fest,
too.
or yeah, I mean I spent a lot of money at those damn
The
things. So
conventions and yeah, I mean, again, it's unfortunate it didn't turn out well, but again, I'm like you, I didn't hear anything about it.
it's their own
so-
fault. It's not the people of Bakersfield are very supportive of these things
Yes.
if they know about it.
Oh, absolutely, and we have a huge anime.
Yeah,
just love.
And I
here.
would tell you, 90% of the people there were dressed.
Yeah, again, that's the thing.
I meant in
Yeah, in cosplay,
cosplay. Yeah,
let's
not just naked.
let's specify that, Mr.
Yeah.
Bentley. Thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate
right.
you as always. We got to take a break. Made you laugh Mondays on the other side. This is the early bird special. We'll be back in about 5. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. If you're having issues with it, brother, it may just be the headphones themselves. For a second.
It's a little touchy over there.
There we go.
Good. Yeah, these headphones. I mean, again, not that we should have working headphones and microphones or anything in a radio station,
we don't need
but
that.
it is what it is. It's time to talk to our friends over at Made You Laugh Mondays, though. Trevor's here.
Hey, morning, guys.
Good morning,
How you doing?
sir. Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Today brought a special guest with me, as they say in History of the World Part 1. I love a mountain comic, so I brought another one with me. He's one of the young guns of the scene, guys from Tehachapi. It's Tyler O'Brien.
Nice to meet you, man.
introduction. Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate it. I'm a mountain man.
Apparently, you
Yeah.
need to launch your beard for that one,
yeah,
man.
nice. Just started growing it out.
Uh,
So good.
Sounds like an Irish Spring commercial.
No kidding. So we like to get an idea of, where you guys came from, how you got started in comedy and all of that. So how did you get started? What was the inspiration?
My family's always liked comedy. My mom, she always made me watch comedy specials growing up. But honestly, I grew up with Nathaniel Webb. Yeah, me and him grew up together. We went to high school together. So when I
Nice.
saw him, he's been doing it for like 4 years now.
Mhm.
So ever since I saw him do it, it's always been in the back of my mind that that's something I could do.
How long have you been doing it now?
About almost a year and a half, 2 years
Okay.
now. So yeah, we're getting.
So you're
there,
not too
but-
far behind Nathaniel. Then,
Yeah,
I would
but
take it.
it felt like a long time from when he started because I think he was only 18, but he
Mm.
had been sneaking into comedy clubs to watch him before when he was like 17, 16. So
Right.
he'd been talking about it for a long time. So
Right.
yeah.
So your friend obviously gets into the comedy scene. Have you always kind of wanted to do it since your family's been around it so much? Or was this just something you kind of believed, maybe that's not even a real job? You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people that look at it and say, how can you even do that as a person? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, growing up, I was always just a fan of it. And then I always wanted to do kind of like radio or
Mhm.
something like that. I always wanted to be a
Entertainment based.
sportscaster, and then I kind of just tried the Twitch streaming thing for a little bit. So, but I always just had the idea when Nathaniel started, I was like, doing that with a live audience, because like when I was Twitch streaming, I'd only get like 3 or 4 viewers. So I was like, if I could do that at a comedy club with like only 3 or 4 people, that'd be way better.
Right. At least you get a live reaction of people laughing.
You know
at
what I
you.
mean? I'm not just talking to myself on
Dude,
a mic, so,
trust me,
yeah.
we've done that once or twice. Especially, like we just did a live stream yesterday for the
For 3 or
wrestling
4 people.
PLE. Well, actually, no, surprisingly, we got about like 30 people watching at one point, but
It's the same person signing out and signing
it
back
might
in.
be. Who knows?
It's hard.
But no, it is because like we've done the video game thing for a sec to see if that would work, and I don't know how people can do that, man. Just talking to nobody is.
It's a talent.
It is. It
Especially
really
for
is. Like,
hours on end, because you're going for 4, 5, 6 hours. It's
absolutely.
insane.
And some people look at me and ask the same thing about me with radio, but it's like, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm talking to Sparky. I'm
Exactly.
literally just
Yeah,
looking at Spark the whole
exactly.
time. Like, he may
Exactly,
not
yeah.
like it, but I'm just looking right at Sparky's
I can't
eyes.
hear anything
You can't hear
anymore.
those.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, those headphones are about
There we
to
go.
snap, and
Okay,
then we'll
cool.
get
I
one in
didn't know
about
that. You got
2
him?
I
years.
could talk to him too.
Yeah,
There you go.
me.
Okay, cool.
Now it's not like you're in a different room.
Yeah,
right?
no.
That's what I'm saying, man. Far be it for us to have stuff that works around here, but
No,
it is what it is.
I was gonna say no. I can see what Tyler's saying, but there are still some days as a comic where you're like, "Am I talking to just no one right now? Is that what's happening?"
Well,
Why-
it-
Sure, but it feels better. Like,
Right.
The presence of people
'Cause
feels better. you know?
always. But how do you kind of, as a comic, deal with that when you're up on stage and just nobody's getting the jokes today?
Honestly, for me, I get uncomfortable when I start bombing. I bomb.
Really?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I hate myself when I bomb.
You haven't figured out a
Dude, no,
strategy
I haven't.
yet?
No. So I try and just get through it as fast as possible when it's happening. You know what I mean? Like, but when
You're
it's
just
going
going
good, I
to this. All
love
right,
it.
here's joke
Yeah.
number 5.
No, yeah, literally.
See, I've got
Yeah.
stage fright. I've talked about it doing it, but I'm like, as soon as I don't think I could do it. I'm a bomb away from just losing it.
It is nerve wracking being in front of a group of people, whether it's 10 people or 30 or 50. Really doesn't
You gotta have
matter.
thick skin
Yeah,
to
you
be
really
on stage,
do.
especially
Yeah.
for comedy.
I've done it once or twice, just being a host or just doing stuff on a microphone, and trust me, it is not. I have stage fright to a point.
Gotta get that liquid courage.
Exactly. Like you give me a little bit, I'll be okay. But I'm like you guys. I probably would be the exact same way as you. If I'm bombing and no one's getting the jokes, I'm just looking to pass off the microphone as quickly as humanly possible so I get this out of my hand.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks. I'm out.
Oh,
too.
you can,
Trevor,
and you
here.
can tell. You can absolutely see it when a guy's bombing and he's just hammering through material. Like, let me just get through this. Let me just say this and
You're not
get
even
off stage.
you're not even trying to get anything down timing wise. You're just getting it out of the way.
Exactly. Let me see if I can get a chuckle out of this and then get off stage.
Oh man.
And especially because we're downtown now and we're pulling in a lot of people at an open mic, which is not normal for open mics. Like you go to Hollywood or anywhere, there's no audience members.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's I've heard that open mics everywhere is more filled with comedians than it is with people actually looking to find comedy, just because they're looking to kind of practice their stuff and get. I mean, we've talked about it.
Yeah,
times.
if it's a good enough open mic, you'll get lucky and it's a 50-50 blend of comics and actual audience members, which it seems like at the Well that's most of the case.
Absolutely.
We're getting close. I want to say we're at about a third to close to a half.
I was gonna say, you guys have a pretty solid crowd.
Yeah, we thankfully, we've built that up. But no, the stage fright thing, guys, I can say, like, I still get nervous going up at my own open mic, like going on stage.
It's
like,
a normal thing, man. I feel like if you don't have something that makes you nervous, you're the weird person.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of comics who are like, once you lose the fear, that's when it stops being fun. I think like Mark Maron has talked about that, where he's like, he'll artificially induce fear into his own set and just talk about random stuff just to like get himself into that mode to start the set or to start the show.
Being from Tehachapi, I do have a major question for you. Do you see a difference in the crowds in your hometown and crowds here?
Absolutely.
And then what is that difference? Because I mean, he's calling you mountain folk. I've always known Tehachapi people to be pretty much the same as us. You just get better weather.
I just recently did my first show in Tehachapi, not even 2 weeks ago, which is crazy for being like a year and a half in. But I got advice from comics in Tehachapi to like, it's way different. So, and I could feel it when I got there. I would do the same material that I do down here, and it was like,
it just was not landing.
Yeah, no, it just wasn't landing. And then there was some other comics from down here as well that were kind of trying to hit the more, raunchy, like dark stuff, because it's Bakersfield, like downtown. Everybody, everybody's accustomed to that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're nasty people down here.
Yeah, we really are.
But I like that. That's why I come down here for fun. You know what I mean? There's nothing up there. We have a bowling alley. So it's like...
Well, that's why I'm curious, because it is a small mountain town in Tehachapi for people who have no idea what we're talking about. It's very much, I always call it like South Park. Like that's the closest thing to South Park I've ever seen in my life. Because it is. It's a small mountain town it's really got not a whole ton in it, but there's a ton of people who live there. Right. And it's all just a closely knit thing. So I've always wondered, like, if you guys even started a comedy show out there, how would it even be perceived? You know what I mean?
That's what me and Issa, he was on the show not too long ago.
Right.
Me and him are going to start co-hosting a show up there at Westlink Brewing. We're trying to get the dates down and everything. And we might make it like a once every 2 weeks open mic type situation. We're trying to get that down, but we'll
just to kind of introduce everybody to it.
Introduce people to it. And I know people like going up there and seeing different audiences and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to see how that goes. But yeah.
Fantastic. Well, whenever you guys get that going, let us know. We'd love to have you back on and talk about it.
For the record, I do like Tehachapi.
Right.
I know it sounds like I hate it. I do like Tehachapi. It's a very nice place. Very,
everybody's got their gripes with their hometown, bro.
And I get it, man. You introduce the scene to it, so when they get to meet like me and Tyson, you and Issa seem like nice boys by comparison.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, see, these are our degenerate friends. These are the ones who make us a problem.
Perfect.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I mean, speaking of open mics, you guys' open mics, it looks like the crowd is getting bigger.
It is.
The comics are getting. I mean, I looked at the group photos. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, we're starting to bring in some LA comics. We're bringing in plenty of fans. It's getting to be fun.
Only fans?
I wish. Then we'd make some money off this thing, but
but I mean, just for anybody that hasn't gone out to open mic out at Firehouse every Monday night, how long does the shows usually last?
It's usually, I would say, about a couple hours, because we have a bunch of comics, and me and Tyson like to give guys their full time to really work stuff out. So we're unlike some shows, we'll be like, all right, there's 30 comics, we're only doing 3s tonight. Tyson will be like, you think we can still do 5s? And I'll be like, all right, let's give it a go.
Yeah. So you're just running through them.
We run through a lot of comics, and the crowd is there for it. You know what? Our crowds don't leave; they stay through the whole show, which is fantastic for an open mic. And it's just a fun time. It's been a fun time so far. You'd think that after a year straight of me doing this, I would be almost a year straight of me doing this, I'd be sick of it. But no, it's a blast every Monday.
That's awesome, man. And obviously, you guys have the food and drink specials at Firehouse as well.
The burger and fry special for $8, I believe.
So that's still such a good deal. You can't beat that, and you get comedy on top of everything.
Exactly, and you're away from everything else, so you don't have to hear everybody talking about their work nonsense or the game playing too loud. You just come upstairs, have enjoy some comedy, have a meal, and then maybe do some bowling or some pool afterwards.
And obviously, if you are an aspiring comic and want to get on stage, I know we talk about this every single week, but how do they get in contact with you?
Either get in contact with us through the Instagram page, Made You Laugh Mondays, myself, Trevor Chavez Comedy, Tyson Hayes, Tyson Haha Hayes. Message one of us ahead of time if you want, or just show up around 6:30 and we'll get you on the list.
Absolutely. Now, we are a sports show. You came with
I came prepared.
He did clearly, and he's in enemy colors, Sparky.
It's all right.
He's in between a Falcons fan and a Dolphins fan, and he expects to get out of here in one
I was going to
piece.
start off with, within 24 hours, AJ Brown will be a Patriot. So,
I mean,
is that a good
possible?
I think
is it a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, every team's got to have their drama queen wide receiver
We
one.
just had Stephon Diggs,
right? Exactly.
But look, man, they also turned Juju Smith-Schuster around and stopped him from making all those stupid videos. So maybe that's a good thing for AJ. You never know.
I forgot. That feels like a fever dream.
It does. It absolutely does.
And
but
like Devontae
Coach
Parker.
Belichick turned that
Tyreek
around.
Hill too.
Oh my
you
God.
can go get Tyreek too for probably cheap.
I hope not. No, he hates that. He actually has publicly stated he will never pay for the Patriots because they have the worst fan base.
Oh, well, actually, you know what? I'd believe that.
I believe that too.
I'd actually believe that.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on your team's performance in the Super Bowl? I mean, are you still hopeful that it's going to be a good future for y'all, or are you looking to offload some of these guys?
Okay, I've watched almost every Patriots Super Bowl that they've been in since I was born. And that was like the only Super Bowl I've watched and been like, wow, there's nothing we could have done. You couldn't blame it on the refs. You couldn't blame it on coaching. You couldn't they were just better. And then they kind of got better over the offseason. I mean, they lost Kenneth Walker, but like other than that, they drafted pretty well again. So I don't even know. I think the Patriots will be good in the AFC again. But again, it's like if you have to play the Seahawks again, what are you
got to
do?
deal with Josh Allen 2 times a year. You're going to have to deal with Malik Willis 2 times a year.
Yep.
Hopefully
He said who?
Well, again, I'm trying to give you some help here, brother. Come on.
Who? Malik what?
It's better than Tua.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. You can have him in that.
I didn't
that's
want
over
him.
the Falcons fans. So you can have him. I had to hear so much Tua crap last week or last couple years, really.
Yeah.
And now he's signed with Atlanta. I was walking in. It's Tua time now, baby. What?
This is every bit of just karma of me talking smack about Tua coming back to me. I swear to God, I did not want them to sign him. But of course, they need a second left-handed quarterback that's about one bad sack away from being not in the NFL anymore. So
you're a Falcons fan?
I am a Falcons fan, unfortunately. Okay. I'm a glutton for punishment. That's what I'm saying.
I won't even say anything.
Well, again,
the look of the smile that crept across Tyler's face when he heard that was
when
gorgeous.
He walked in with the Patriots hat on. All I'm seeing is a fat 28-3 right above his head. That's all I'm thinking.
I had no idea. This is awesome. It's like double. You guys have the Miami Miracle and stuff like that.
We've had a couple of those, but
look, brother, I understand that I am a glutton for punishment, and my team just does everything possible to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Okay.
But
the Dolphins play the Patriots tough. That is one team that we always play tough. Usually we split. And of course, all these Patriot fans, the last 3 years when we beat them, 6-8-0 in the last 3 or 4 years, and then all these Patriot fans. And I knew it last year going into it when we made our previews before the season kicked off. I was looking at that schedule and I was like, dude, the Patriots are going to be good, man. I didn't expect them to go to the Super Bowl, but I knew they were going to be good. And they're a young team, and I think they're only going to get better. And that is coming from a Dolphins fan. My question is the coach going to be there?
That's actually what I was just about to bring up.
Listen, yes,
it
has to be. You can't let personal issues dictate what happens on the field.
Well, I mean, I
don't know about that.
Unless it's you're like breaking the law. Sure, I guess breaking the law.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's not. He's just.
He's not breaking the law.
The last 2 press conferences I've seen from Vrabel, he starts with, "I love my wife."
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
But listen, if we're gonna go based off of should he still be coaching because he had an affair, I think half or more than half of the
Right.
NFL.
Oh no,
it wouldn't be a
100%.
league. It
No,
wouldn't be a
Coming
league.
from a
So
team with the owner that's kind of had his own
he
little
should-
issues.
Yeah.
he should have. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with you. I don't think he's going anywhere. It's just, come on,
I'm
man. You
also-
got to be
I
smart.
don't think
in
Tyreek
this.
Hill should be in the NFL anymore.
No, I agree.
I think players with a record like that should not be in
Yeah.
the NFL,
There has
But
to be a line.
especially with like where you kicked Ray Rice out of the league.
Yep.
You basically shadow banned Josh Gordon for smoking,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you let Tyreek Hill like beat multiple.
I mean,
you know,
Colin Kaepernick, really, you could
Colin-
throw in there
you
too.
could throw Colin Kaepernick in there. You can throw people who didn't like do crazy stuff and
Yeah.
got kicked out of the league, and then
I agree. Tyreek, I don't understand how the hell he is
Look at-
still in the
it
league.
shows talent
It's-
can get you.
No,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Is I'm a firm believer that all sports leagues, not just the NFL, they will keep you around as long as the amount of money they have to pay you doesn't
Absolutely.
become more than what you're worth. Like how
Right.
much of a problem you are off the
Mhm.
field.
I mean, we just
So,
saw it last week with Josh Jacobs.
yeah,
Oh my-
absolutely. And again,
every
that,
offseason it goes on.
there's
There's
no
another player.
charges apparently still
Of
that they're
course.
not talking about filing charges, which honestly kind of makes me think that maybe it was a crazy girlfriend situation and he didn't actually do everything. But again, we're never going to know because if there's no
Yeah.
charges, he's not going to have to own up to it.
Yeah,
So,
no, for sure.
but I still say the court of public opinion is always going to come down and everybody's going to know the guy is an absolute POS. But
yeah, absolutely.
that's the problem. But I do agree. I think there has to be a line that's put
There
in
has to
somewhere.
be.
But I mean, the Rossini thing, like how did you feel about all of that happening at the time?
Who?
Diana Rossini, the
Oh,
reporter.
when I just like, I'm like, dude, we just lost Stephon Diggs because of the whole, chef thing.
Yep.
And then we lost the Super Bowl. And then you're like, why are you in Sedona with a reporter
Right.
at a resort
And expecting nobody to see that or take
on
pictures.
draft weekend?
Yeah.
Like around that time. Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that?
Oh, and
It's
then they
ridiculous.
the releasing of pictures of them 5 years ago after he got fired from the
when
Titans.
she's pregnant, and then they're matching up the dates and
Yep.
stuff. And
They
like, she
named the
named her
kid.
son.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
what
the creepiest part
It's
about
getting
it.
creepy, dude.
Dude,
It's
that's
becoming
the
a weird movie.
Because even if that's not his kid, like if that is her actual husband's child, you name that kid after the guy you're having an affair with.
And her husband
That's
looks just like
weird.
him.
Yeah, he does.
I was like-
They are dead ringers for each other, dude. She has a type.
Yeah, I was
She
gonna say,
definitely
clearly she
has a type.
See, I'm getting like chills right now because
Dude,
like, how evil can you be?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like that's why when we were talking about it on the show, I was like, this story just continues to get weirder
Yeah.
and weirder. And at first, I just thought it was gonna be one of those situations like, oh great, a coach got caught cheating on his wife again. Oh well. But no, the more you dove into this, the more it's like, wow, these two have had a secret affair for years.
Exactly. And people want him to be punishment. And I honestly think that his punishment will be trying to win back that locker room
Right.
after that.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Good luck. And his wife.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got his
Good luck.
own issues.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's had enough.
no, he lost the family. There's no way his
He
wife
lost that, and
fully
then-
like respects him after that.
Yeah, I just don't know how you can look at somebody as a leader after all that.
Well, I know, and it's like you just said. The last two press conferences, he's had to come out and say, "I
It's
love my
weird.
wife, and
Now you're
I'm
making it
a
a
family
fiasco.
man." Like this seems like a court-appointed
Mhm.
intro to everything to tell
That's his
everybody
therapist saying,
exactly.
don't
It's
forget
like,
to mention.
you
Detroit
have to
doesn't
say
go
this.
through
Please, Your Honor, don't take away custody of my children.
Well,
Like,
Trevor,
it's giving a lot of that.
what
man.
you got planned for the next week or two?
Oh, so yeah, this week, if anybody's going to be in North Hollywood, I will be at the Comedy Chateau out there. Next Monday, be ready, guys, because me and Tyson have plans for Made You Laugh Mondays. It's the first birthday of Made You Laugh
Oh,
Mondays.
what?
So, or 1 year anniversary, whatever you want to call it. But me and Tyson have been at this for a year. I will be at the Green Room in Sherman Oaks on the 13th. And then stay tuned to my Instagram page because I will be at the Zebra Room at the end of the month. So it's going to be a busy June for me.
No kid. Well, it's been
After
a busy couple months.
I was gonna
for you,
say after
man.
a busy May.
you've been killing it lately.
I've been getting after it, yeah. And if anyone wants to not drive down to LA and see me a little more locally, I don't know, talk to Dan at the well, I guess.
That should be happening here very soon, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you have any shows yourself that you want to pump up, my friend?
Nothing booked yet, but check out the roast battle. Like, check out their Instagram page and everything. Jokes on your roast battles.
Mhm.
That'll be coming out soon. I don't know if it's going to be the end of this month or early next month.
You were just a
And
part
then
of the last one, weren't you?
just a part of the last one, and then the one before that as well. So
Nice.
we've gotten 2 under our belt so far.
I was going to say, can we say you have an undefeated
I
record
don't
with
want to
2-0?
say that. No, you
No.
can't say that. After 3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go there. All right.
Undefeated after 2 because
He
You can go 2-15 after this.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about this. Your next opponent supposedly is going to be our Thursday regular, Anthony Howdigy.
Yes.
So, how do you feel?
I like it. I like how it's like getting harder and harder each time, So Issa started a little bit after me. Ivan's been doing it for kind of the same time. And now we're going with somebody who has a lot more experience. So I'm excited, honestly. Whenever I'm nervous for something, I want to do it.
What's your strategy for these roast battles?
Get as personal and as dark as possible.
Always a good plan.
Oh,
Is
man.
that type comedy your style? The roast battle type thing?
No, that's the other thing. I kind of wanted to take a break after this next roast battle just to I don't want to be known for that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's why everybody knows kind of I do comedy now. It's because I've won 2 roast battles, which suck. They don't remember the 30 open mics, but I'm bombing in front of 2 people.
Oh, man.
No, but for sure. I'm excited. I mean, my comedy is dark though. I will say, kind of. I don't want to be known for that either, but Trevor is going to say it here in 2 seconds. So.
I was leaving it alone.
Okay.
But if you have come out to Made You Laugh Mondays, you've seen Tyler turn around and go, "What is he talking about?
What did he just say?"
He said what? With his sister?
You
Dear
have
God.
to push. Oh, wow. You got to push the boundaries sometimes.
He does.
Man.
As the great Patrice O'Neal said, if you're not leaving half the room horrified and half the room laughing, you're not doing it right.
Absolutely, man.
And you got to cross the line to know where it is. And I feel like you've learned where the line is.
Still. So.
That's great. Oh, man.
We'll head out to Firehouse tonight. Would you say doors 6:30?
Yeah, doors are 6. Or about 6. List goes out at 6:30. Show is at 7. And yeah, if you want to hang out and talk to us a little earlier than that, that's cool.
And your 1-year birthday or anniversary, whatever we're going to call it
next Monday. So
yes.
Plan is for me and Tyson to be here because you guys haven't had the both of us in a good long while, and it's the 1-year anniversary, so we figured it'd be the 2 of us.
Congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
That is
I know.
fantastic.
With a lot of open mics go down a lot faster than ours than this. So I know the fact that we've made it a year is awesome, and we're getting a actual following is fantastic. I couldn't be happier.
Man. I am very happy for you guys, and hopefully I'll be able to make it out to the 1 year as well. But we do have to take a break, though, and get to our next guest. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. Once again, whenever you guys get that show started up in Tehachapi, let us know. We'd love to have you both on and just talk about it, man.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And Trevor, we'll see you next week, obviously, with your guy Tyson, and we'll celebrate the 1 year, man.
Awesome. Great to be here, guys.
Awesome. Let's take a break real quick. We'll get to snacks on the other side, wrap up our thoughts on the NBA Finals. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM. I'm going to talk a little basketball with our friend Snacks over at 93.1. Basketball referee here locally, college and high school level. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Can't complain, brother. We had some great basketball on Saturday, so let's start there. The Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Your thoughts? Do you have any major things that you think need to be shaken up here for the Thunder?
I do think that, like I spoke on before, that the Thunder, they'll probably be some people. I mean, they won't have the same team next year for sure, as we all know. Those players are going to start asking for more money. Some of them are going to start thinking that they could be the player on other teams, if not the number two on other teams. So I don't think we'll see a lot of the Thunder's team left. So that's my theory on that. As far as the Spurs, they just came out with a different game plan. Get the ball off the rim and let's run. Get to the rim. If they stop us getting to the rim, kicking and knock down open shots. And so I kind of think that's the game plan they'll go into the Knicks. The problem is the Knicks are going to have the same game plan. And going to a 7-game series, I don't know. We're about to find out how in shape this young team is. Is that can we withstand a full series of playing in that caliber?
So you're expecting the Knicks to push the pace here and try to run it the entire time?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that's kind of in their mojo as well. But the Knicks are very good at playing in half court set as well to slow the game down. But I think their first preference is to get the ball off the rim, especially with Brunson and all his college teammates. Get the ball off the rim and let's make plays in open space. To limit plays, to limit the battles for the big men, as I would say. And I think that's why they kind of the Spurs went that route. Their game plan was get the ball off the rim, let's wear them down, get to the rim. They can't stop us in space. But to kind of limit the battles that Wemby would have to do. The only problem I have with the Game 7 is that Wemby bringing the ball up the floor. Some would say it worked, but that's not going to work 7 games in a series because he's going to get tired. You're bringing the ball up the floor, then you got to battle on the defensive end. You're helping out on the defensive end. You know the big men are going to try and wear you down just by being physical with you. Right. So I think the less that he can do, the better off they will be.
So we were talking about that when it came to the game plan for the Thunder. It seemed like they had found the formula to win against the Spurs when they got aggressive and really pushed the ball. But for some reason, they went away from that in Game 7, whether it was just Chet not getting open shots or really just not finding a good rhythm in that area. But where do you think the Knicks will be able to kind of mimic that to be able to pull something off here in Game 1?
I think the Knicks have better depth than the Spurs.
That's fair.
And another thing that makes me nervous with the Spurs after watching this series with OKC is, are they going to be mentally tough? Meaning, OKC continuously tries to get in the Spurs' head, like being physical with them. Castle is going to have to do a much better job of staying locked in and staying on the floor and out of foul trouble. Him and Wemby have to stay out of foul trouble. And that's very tough against the Knicks team that likes to get to the basket. Brunson is very good at creating fouls. Townsend can get to the rim at times. And you know the Knicks are going to be physical too. So, but the problem is they can be physical because they can go to the bench and bring somebody off the bench.
Right.
I just worry about the Spurs bench play because we've seen all series long against OKC. Once he goes to the bench, the opposite team always makes a certain amount of run. 6-0 run, 11-0 run. So that's what makes me nervous about the Spurs.
That's what I didn't understand with OKC, knowing that, Wemby had 5 fouls with, 7-8 minutes left and they went away from him. And I'm like, well, you're just playing right where they want you to instead of going in. And I think that's where the Knicks has got to capitalize, is staying aggressive. And, Wemby's going to get some blocks. It's you can't hide from it. You just have to be aggressive and go after him. And I think that's one thing that this Knicks not only is there's the depth, but Brunson, he'll run around in circles and he'll find that open guy. And I'm just looking forward to it. I think this is the better matchup for all of us that are going to be watching.
Yeah, and I also don't think the Knicks are going to be afraid of Wemby. They're going to attack him in the paint. Like, OKC, they'll see him down the paint and go do loops. And, all right, well, we'll try this again. It's like walking into the zoo and you see a lion standing at the cage. Okay, well, I guess I won't go on there. But I don't think the Knicks are going to be afraid to attack him, especially Townsend. And is the other big man back? I know he was hurt for a while.
Mitchell is supposed to be playing, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to be afraid to attack him. So that's what I'm saying. Spurs are going to have to be, particularly Wemby and Castle are going to have to be so much better mentally as far as staying out of foul trouble and not letting people antagonize them into after hard fouls, getting up off the floor and rushing over and getting technicals, getting thrown out. Because then you have bigger issues, and now you got to sit out and all these things. So, yeah, I just if they play like they did, it'll be a great series. But I just think how will they be able to withstand the physicality for 7 games if it goes that, and what is their mental toughness going to be?
So when it comes to who wins this final, obviously this is going to be a great series. I think everybody's okay with either one of these teams winning, whether it be Wemby winning his first championship and kind of taking over the league, or the Knicks finally doing it and, quelling everybody's worries in New York. Which one do you think actually happens, though? Who are you leaning towards?
Right now, I have the Knicks as the edge.
Knicks.
How
many
had
games?
A week's worth of. How many? I'll go. I really do have a 7-game series, but I do have the Knicks. I have the Knicks as the edge. Again, their depth. They've had rest. They feel like they have the momentum right now. Not to do that, does that week take away from that momentum? Well, I guess we're gonna find out. But it does help having momentum going into a series and having rest going to a series. And the Spurs have played all the series has been 7 games or just about 7 games, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything is lining up perfectly for the Knicks coming off. Every team that they played is coming off 7-game series. And I've got the Knicks in 6, but I wouldn't doubt it if it goes 7.
The only thing that I think differs here is the Knicks won't have the luxury of waiting for that team to come to them. They'll have to make the travel to San Antonio. And I don't know, man. I like that everybody has faith in the Knicks. I do. But there's something that tells me that they're not going to be able to find an answer for Victor. Because as good as Carl can be, he's got his moments where he disappears as well. And that's going to be one of the major things in my mind that he's going to have to avoid. He cannot have one of those series where it's the Jalen Brunson show against the Spurs, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And I feel that same with both teams. Who is the player? Who is the next scorer when both of these players get in foul trouble or they're just off that night? Like, who else is going to step up? And for Spurs, I just don't see. Yes, I see that in Castle, but he can't. Like, he has to stay on the floor.
Here's my thing. I think they have that guy, but I think he comes off the bench. It's Dylan Harper. I think they need to make Dylan Harper the starter. I like De'Aaron Fox. I do. I know he's a stud, and he's been in the league for a long time. But the more and more you've seen this kid play in Dylan Harper, he makes the key plays for them when they need him to. He could score the basketball, and he can lead them. I genuinely believe the number 2 should end up being Dylan Harper.
I would agree to disagree. Agree because of what you just said, but disagree because you need that veteran in that on the floor.
Fair.
Here's what I like about Fox is that he slows the game. Like when the game a team goes on his run, he can be that next player out. Like he has mentality. Okay, I'm not giving you the ball, Wemby. I'm going to score. I'm going to make this happen so we can open this back up. And I think having that 6th man that can score come off the bench is a much better option than having him start.
Oh, they have that already. They got the 6th man of the year with Johnson. That's the thing. It's weird to say, or at least not for you. I'm not saying that your comment is weird, but you're right in saying that the depth is going to be the problem for the San Antonio Spurs. But that should just show how deep the Knicks are because the Spurs have the 6th man of the year and they have guys like Harrison Barnes and Harper coming off the bench.
Oh, while I was speaking, let me clarify. When I was talking about depth, I'm talking about big men.
Okay.
Paint protection. When Wemby goes to, you see the game instantly change when Wemby goes to the bench. So I'm talking about as far as the big men. They're giving them good minutes, but also you need somebody else to. And I honestly think since you don't have a plethora of big men to choose from, you got to play Harrison Barnes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Another veteran that's on the floor, another veteran that's been in the fire, that's been in these situations. You can kind of tell that they kind of stay consistent when he's on the floor as well. I kind of surprised he didn't play more, but I think we're probably going to see Harrison Barnes a little bit more in this series.
And I expect it to be an aggressive series when you bring in guys that, you know, a lot of people aren't talking about, the OGs. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to this is the big test, not only for a young Spurs team, but a Knicks team that has been this close. And, you know, I think this is their chance. And if they blow it, then everyone's okay. It's Wemby. You know, it's Wemby's fault. It's not really the Knicks' fault. But this is a test I've been looking forward to for the last month or two is, you know, this Knicks team, whether they've won 11 or 12 in a row, but how can they test that against one of these big West teams?
You talking about the Knicks?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Knicks have got lucky. They ran through everybody through the East, but my big test is how does this East, you know, quick offensive, you know, defensive minded team line up against a Wemby led, you know, San Antonio team?
I actually think I agree with you. I think this is the better matchup because what I think they're going to do is if Wemby guards Townsend, they're going to take Wemby out of the post. So Wemby is going to be out on the perimeter guarding Townsend, which now they can make plays at the basket, the backdoor cuts, and all those type of things. On the other part of your answer is, no matter who wins, I think it's good for NBA basketball, especially if the Knicks win.
100%.
When is the last time? Basically, the Knicks. The Knicks is like the blue blood of the NBA. Like it's kind of hard to talk about NBA without talking about the Knicks, whether it's good or bad. And for them to finally win a championship, I mean, it's just good for NBA basketball. Going into the summer, like it's really good for NBA basketball. But also, the Spurs is another blue blood. Granted, it's a smaller market, but they've done this. We've had the Tim Duncans and the David Robinsons for a few years where they were constantly in the talks of winning the championship and have won championships. So either team winning is not bad for NBA basketball, but for the Knicks to win, we don't know the last time the Knicks. I'm not a historian, but it's been a long time.
It's been over 50 years, I can tell you that. But again,
yeah, it's been a long time since the Knicks. Whether you like the Knicks or not, it's still a good ring so that the Knicks are NBA champions.
No, I said the same thing. If there was anybody on the East that was going to win this outside of my Cavs, I was hoping it was going to be the Knicks just because of the long, you know, hiatus they have had from the NBA Finals. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure New York fans were just waiting for the day that they were going to be able to flip this city on its head if this didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, because if there's one team in New York that is beloved above all outside of the Yankees, because the Yankees are still number one, it would be the Knicks. Like the Knicks are the most beloved team in New York, and it shows, man.
That city is going to flip upside down. And the only problem we as non-Knicks fans is we're going to have to hear if they win this championship, they have won the championship for the next 5 years, no matter who won.
If people were wondering, man, the Philadelphia had to grease their flagpoles because they were worried about how crazy their fans are going to get. New York's going to have to go above that. They're going to have to put like barbed wire or something over everything just so they don't have stuff get destroyed.
Lockdown.
Oh, it's going to look like a Marvel movie. It really is. It's going to look really bad for a bit. But again, it's all in good fun. It's all in good celebration. And hopefully we see just a good series. The other side of the coin, though, that we wanted to get to is all of this talk about trades and stuff that are going to be happening in the offseason. We talked about Evan Mobley potentially getting moved from Cleveland. There's rumors that Jay Williams or Chet Holmgren can be moved from the Thunder. Who do you think is the most likely not to be on their team starting next season?
I want to say between the Chet and the Jay Williams.
Really?
And I don't know. Again, I don't know this to be true because we're not in any of the organizations. But just watching for what Holmgren gave him in the playoffs the past 2 years, he just went missing. Jay Will can't stay healthy, so you probably want to get somebody in that can retain the whole season, and a big man that will help out SGA.
Mhm.
In the end, I don't see Mobley being a rush to get rid of unless they talk about bringing LeBron back for his last year, and now you got to get rid of multiple pieces. I don't really see Mobley being in a rush to get rid of. I just think he's the best fit if somebody's come talking. Like he's the best giveaway if somebody comes talking. But between not SGA, Holmgren and Williams, both of them are going to be asking for more money. Not with me being fair, I now understand their contract, but they're still going to be asking for money, wherever they go.
Right.
I just think those two, they're going to have to make room and bring in a different piece because one can't stay on the floor and one just goes missing when it's time to really ball out. So.
Well, and again, don't forget, Chet lost his entire rookie season to injury as well, so he's not exactly exempt from the injury bug here. But that's the point I was going to make here is if you're Oklahoma City and both of these men come to your door and say, I want more money, who are you willing to pay more than the other? I'd argue you'd pay Williams. I genuinely do. And although he has been injured in certain situations, he still is much better of an option, in my opinion, than Chet is.
I totally agree. But the next question, who will you bring in to replace that rim protector?
True.
You can always find a guard. It's very hard to find a rim protector. So it really just comes down who will they bring in if they do trade him.
Right.
But you are right. You're totally right about both of them being injury prone. And nobody ever wishes that on any player in any sport. But at the end of the day, it's a business, so you gotta.
It's just funny just because in the last 10 days, ever since, the Cavs lost and, the OKC Thunder have lost, just listening to Shams each day, he's talked about Mobley as being the biggest potential trade target. One was the Giannis, and Milwaukee wanted him last year and he was off limits. But now that, this playoff happened with the Cavs, they're saying, maybe they'll revisit that with Milwaukee, or they'll try to talk with OKC and get Jay Williams out of him and push Mobley over there. I can't imagine a team with Mobley along with Chet and SGA, but maybe that is what OKC, plus they've got a top 12 pick in the draft.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to get rid of Williams, I think that's a phenomenal trade to bring in Mobley because now you're getting a well-rounded full threat. He plays on the defensive end. He's a rebounder. He also can score when utilized correctly. I just don't think Cleveland utilized him or the other big men well in the last series against the Knicks. Mobley is not a bad trade for anybody. You're getting a score. You're getting at all three levels: a scorer, a defender, and a rim protector. And he can guard anybody on the floor. So Mobley, honestly, might be the best option for anybody to go get first. I just don't see the Cavs in a rush to get rid of him.
Right.
Like if they can keep him, I think they'll be totally happy being able to keep him. But he's just the best piece on their team, money wise, and to get more for if you're going to trade him.
No, and everything that I have read tells me that they want to run this back with the crew they have, James Harden included.
Yeah, they just have to get rid of Harden. I don't know. That would be the piece I'll be trying to get rid of.
That's what I said. If we're moving on from anybody, it should be James, but it is what it is. I'm not sure if that's in the plans either. Real quick, my friend, before we have to let you go, the biggest gripe in the Western Conference Finals was the foul calls. And as a referee, I have to ask you, what do you expect to see in the finals? Are we expecting to see more of what we saw in the conference finals, or do you think these referees are going to be more hands-off?
Hands off.
Just get out of the way and let them do what they got to do?
Yeah, more hands off, but there also going to be more plays at the basket in open space. So which then will then make it seem like there's a lot more whistles. But when you have plays in the basket in open space, there's going to be more whistles because there's probably going to be more fouls. Like it allows defenders not to be in defensive position on time. If you're chasing down or you're trying to get in position, you're contesting at the basket, so it's going to be more fouls at the basket. As far as big men play, I just think they're going to let them play. If we're watching the game in a half court, they're just going to let them play. I believe so. If it's go ahead.
Are we going to see more of the defense on Wemby like we saw with the Thunder, though? Are they going to allow them to hold on to him like they allowed Hartenstein to do? Because arguably, you got Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. You shouldn't be getting the same leeway as the Thunder was.
I'm going to say I don't know really know how to answer that. I will say if the Knicks are going to try because they saw that the OKC was getting away with it.
Right.
So I think they're going to try until they can't. To try and, again, wear him down. You have to do anything and everything to do what you can to wear down Wemby and get him off the floor. Whether it's 2 fouls, 2 quick fouls. That's why I think they're not going to be afraid to attack him. 2 quick fouls, get him out the paint and get him to spread the floor, or somehow get him on the bench and wear him down. Like he has to be. Like they're just trying to find any way to get him off the floor because, again, teams are seeing when he's off the floor, we can make a run.
Right. Absolutely. And that's just what my thought process was, because watching that Western Conference Finals and them allowing Chet to stamp on his feet and Hartenstein was holding onto him with 2 hands. I can't imagine they're going to allow Karl and Mitch to do the same thing. I just can't.
It was so hit and miss, though, because even in Game 7, there was so many calls that were iffy calls.
Right.
Like, let them play, dude.
Is this going to get scrappy in your opinion? Do you think there's going to be a point where we're going to see some tempers flaring?
Oh, yeah. But another reason I say I think they're going to let them play is because if you take, going back to the OKC series, if you take that big man off the floor and you take Chet off the floor, who else do they have? Now you're playing small ball, and now it's just a dominated game. And so you look at these type of things as an official. Like, even every game, officials pregame. Like, they meet at 11 o'clock. They go over plays. They go over tendencies of the players. They go over who's the best rebounder, who's the foul trouble, who's coming off the bench in the score, who comes off the bench, just looking to start stuff. So we prep for games just like players do. But if you also have to talk about, okay, now if we put 2 quick fouls on Hartenstein, you got another, you got a 6'7" guy coming in trying to guard a 7'10" guy.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating on the 7'10". And so now they changed the whole trajectory of the game. It changed the entertainment of the game around. So how do we keep these players in the game so we can stay off the marginal stuff and just really put a whistle to the obvious and illegal stuff? That's what we try to do. But in this game, evenly matched. So, and then they can go both. I mean, the Knicks can go to the bench and have something to come off the bench. So, I would like to think that's what the officials will look at when game planning or prepping for the games. But we're going to see. I think it's going to be a battle, though. They're going to let them play.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great series, as you said. And if we get 6-7 games out of this, that'd be a success for me. On anything but a sweep. As long as we don't see the Knicks sweep them, I think I'd be content with whatever we get. So
we don't want to see it sweep.
No, absolutely. So, my friend, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you as always. We will talk to you next week, and hopefully we'll still have some basketball to talk about. If not, we'll wrap up the season with you.
All right, brother. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, my friend. We got to get out of here for the day. I know we only got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes here. Join us tomorrow, 7 to 9. KG will be joining us. We'll talk a little about Clash in Italy over the weekend. Plus, we'll get into the incredible match that was the original El Grande.
And I think the King and Queen tournament starts tonight on Raw.
They do. The brackets were announced yesterday in the post show of Clash in Italy. So we'll give you a rundown of what you will see in this tournament for King and Queen of the Ring. It's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be a fun time here for
some
wrestling.
Of these fatal 4-ways that they're announced are entertaining.
So,
I will just say that.
I would be watching Raw here in a couple hours because they are overseas.
11 o'clock.
So it starts at 11. I know most of you are going to be at work, so you're going to have to wait until you get home. I am too. It sucks, but it is what it is. Join us tomorrow, 7 to 9, here on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or on KGEO's airways, as always. But until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.